What's up, folks? Welcome to Wasted Space, and welcome to They Are Billions by Numantian Games. Came out yesterday, 12th of December, on Early Access, and it is, yes, another zombie game. However, this is one with a really cool twist, something that makes it kind of different and really grabbed my attention. Now, I've actually had this for a couple of weeks, and I planned to have a video out for the release, but I've been trying to get good, if I'm honest, so let's get that out of the way right off the bat. I am not very good at this game. But what we're going to do is dive in. I'm going to play through sort of short mini-series style, probably 3 episodes if I can even survive that long, and try and talk to you a bit about why this game's kind of cool, kind of interesting. Because the whole premise in this is you're talking about a tower defense survival RTS game, which is really something I hadn't seen before. So, kicking off again, there is going to be a story mode and so on for this later down the line, a single-player experience that's sort of actually story-driven. But for now, we have this survival mode. And the idea is we have to survive for, in this case, 100 days. You notice there's a few options there. We've got a few options of also our population. Not our population, sorry, the infected population, the population on the map. You'll see how that's kind of relevant later down the line. But the reason I've got it set like this is to get this score factor of 100%, because I really want to unlock and see some of the other maps in this game. Unfortunately, in order to unlock these, you've got to do it on these settings, and I haven't even come close. So let's go and have a look at why it is I haven't even come close, and also why it is that this game's kind of cool. So the main premise of this game, as I said, is survival. And the idea is, RTS style, you start off with a main construction and a few units. And we're going to use the Rimworld style, we can pause it on the fly with the spacebar, and you're going to be using that a fair bit, because this is pretty hectic. First stages here is to start having a look around our map, the area in which we're going to have to build and survive in. You can start to see some of the resources we're going to need showing up, like trees. For example, for wood, we've got different stones and ores and stuff we can mine, and I'm also going to need to start building up our population, because like any good RTS, obviously this side of things plays out pretty standard, like you would expect. Where things stop playing out so standard is, for example, why it is that I'm out already being quite meticulous about where it is I'm going, having a good look around, because very soon we're going to run into the zombie horde. Zombies are everywhere on the map, and your goal is to survive until the last day where everything on the map comes to get you. But as this is going through, you will run into hordes that attack you after a set number of days. I don't even know. Yes, the name is appropriate. However, this starting location we've got looks great. So if you imagine you're trying to defend yourself, you're trying to put walls up around in these areas, and that is kind of the idea. This area here looks really secure, but the zombies, they're little gits. So if you have a gap in your defences anywhere, like for example this area here is quite open, then they will make use of it. So early game, all we're really trying to do is set up our basic economy. So we've got a few huts down now to get ourselves down here. You can see our population, total colonists, this is number of spare workers, amount of food we've got, amount of power we've got. And if I hold down E, this is sort of our power grid that shows us where we can build at the moment. And as far as I've figured out, and I did, again, preface this with the fact that I am really quite bad, is that we want to begin basically just trying to push as hard as we can for research, and at the same time, kind of locking off our first safe area. So looking at this bit, I'll probably have maybe a wall across there, a wall across there, wall across there, and a wall across there. So that's 5 fronts, which isn't ideal, but these are nice short ones that I think we can fortify later down the line as well. So I think that should work. We get a fisherman hut up to get some more food on the go, and most of the time at the start, you can see we've got different categories of buildings. We have military, industry, defense, which is where all of our towers and so on are. Energy, which is going to expand or create our energy area. And then resources, which will slowly grow. There are more buildings in here than you can see at the moment, because as soon as we unlock the wood workshop, we start to be able to open up other building types and research further in. So to begin with, while that guy patrols there, that looks fairly safe. Might send this person up to grab the bit of stone we got sitting spare. We do have a maximum supply limit as well, so you can see this is actually filling itself up to a total point. That total point is the point at which we can no longer gather any more, and any more we do gather will be wasted. So there's certainly a balance going on, so at the moment I'm missing gold, in trying to make sure you're always using your resources. You don't have too much of any one time. So I'm going to whack down a sawmill so that we can start collecting wood. And one of the things I think works quite well early game is actually getting a couple of sawmills running. Because wood is, to begin with at least, what you're going to be spending a lot of. Now, another thing you've got to take into account here is, unsurprisingly, the zombies. And one of the things the zombies do, you've gone up there, let's start looking around a bit further, is not only do they try and sneak through, so you can see a few of them have decided they're going to come and get a bit alerted over here, and your characters and people make noises. So wherever he is, our soldier, we start with a single soldier, the guy that's patrolling here, he's got a shotgun. So if he starts... Oh, there's a submachine gun, apparently. I thought it was a shotgun. The way they shoot it looks very much like a shotgun. Either way, it even looks a bit like a shotgun. Are you sure you mean submachine gun? Either way, they make tons of noise. So if he was to go down here and start opening up, they'd all come. But they're also very, very good at finding the bits of your defences that you've missed. The little gaps you've left that you're not watching. And if they ever get in contact, that's a great cut-off spot. Look at that. I'm liking this map. That means I can guaranteed to screw it up. So we might want to, at this point, consider opening up our energy, spreading out a bit so we can start getting walls up early. Because as soon as you've got walls up, you can start worrying a bit less about covering certain areas. Your defences will get attacked first. Because if a zombie ever reaches one of these things, any of our buildings, he will infect the occupants. And by doing so, turn them all into zombies. And then you've got a big problem on your hands. Now, I'm not sure about the value of towers. You can put towers up and they increase your view distance more than anything else, but they cost quite a lot extra over just a bit of wall. And for whatever reason, your dudes can shoot through walls, or over walls, I should say, although even the soldier guy with his submachine gun shoots, so... But for the sake of demonstration and for vision, I will whack that up there. So that's one avenue of attack sealed off. Resources-wise, I'm keeping everything. It kind of helps, I find, to keep everything as low as possible. Next thing we're probably going to want is to up our gold. So basically our gold production is increased by making more of these, more of our colonist dwellings. But you want to keep these someplace relatively safe, just on the basis that the more tucked in they are, the less chance you have that the Z's are going to come and give you trouble. Sneak through somehow. Do you want to keep clearing them out? You can, because the entire map here is filled with zombies, like there's zombies everywhere. You can actually work to start clearing them out and reduce the amount of zombies that come and attack you later, but of course this early in the game is probably asking for a bit of trouble. And to begin with, you can't build any more units. To begin with, these are the units you've got. There is obviously a soldier centre where we can later down the line, and we go build some stuff. That's really quite expensive for early game. You have to choose to gun specifically for that, when in reality you kind of don't need it. I think the wood workshop is more important. But what I'm going to do before we even do that is try and get another sawmill running. There we go. So I've got another spot down here that's kind of in a really good place for it. There's even one there as well, so we should be able to get tons of wood out of this later game. Whack that one down as well. It's going to use some of our workers, so we are going to want some more tents. These obviously can be upgraded later down the line. You start researching so you can use stone cottages and potentially even more upgrades later. I haven't got really massively far down the tech tree. I've built the advanced one, so I've done the wood workshop, I've done the stone workshop, and I've got onto the foundry, which I think is the last tier, but I've never survived long enough to actually really make much use of it. So she's doing alright down there. Things are building up. Gold is going to be the main concern. Fortunately, walls do not cost very much gold.
Your colony needs a mayor.
Ooh, our colony needs a mayor. So this is just sort of an arbitrary little bit of RNG benefit. For every single playthrough, you will get a random mayor like this. I don't know what the levels mean. This has been added recently. But, yes, I don't know what those levels are about. But each one of them will give you, as you can see, either a +20 to our stone reserves, and I think that's a permanent +20, or a Tesla tower. Tesla tower being what spreads the energy for you. And these are quite minor. Very rare do they give you anything huge, really important. So, stone reserves +20 is exactly the amount you need to build a soldier centre without having to build, without having to build a stone quarry in order to get it. That's quite handy. So in this playthrough, because of that, I could choose to change my normal route, and instead of going wood workshop, I could go for a soldier centre first, but I'm not going to. It's just going to be helpful to not have to build this quarry, and I'll just have to watch out to not spend that stone, because we need exactly 20. Those sides are all holding themselves all right. Can you go out and have a look around as well? You just see what we've got, see where we might expand. See if potentially we've got another good break point around here. Oh, hello. This map's looking great. You're right there. So you can see these guys actually have different names. So there are special zombie types in amongst them. You get a sort of fast ones, big ones, your usual selection. Think Left 4 Dead and you've pretty much got it. I've let myself completely fill up on wood, jabbering away. Wood workshop, where is it? You, sir. Because one of the things the wood workshop will allow us to do almost immediately, if I can find a place to put it, which I can't, we do not have a spot that makes sense. I could sort of maybe tuck it in around this area, but it'll block our movement around. So before we can do that, gonna need a Tesla. I've got just about enough workers to do it. Which direction do we expand? Up here has got lots of resources. Down this direction looks more defensible, especially with the sea there, or a lake there, and it looks like more down this edge. So yeah, I'm gonna go off this way. See if we can seal some of this bit in as well, get that done early, because it's a good use of our wood. That will need to finish before I can do anything else. Is there anywhere else we want to wall up? We kind of can't yet. This bit here is the tricky bit to wall. I might have to forego a gate on this side just because it would be ugly as sin. Or we expand straight to there. That does look like such a lovely natural cut-off point. I might just have to do that. You want to come round? That means we will need another Tesla tower, but I'm going to wait for this one to finish so we can get the wood workshop down. Come on. I'm not even sure there'll be a good spot. No, I take it back. There's not going to be a good spot there either. Is there any good spot here for the Tesla tower that allows us to block that pass off properly? Just there. And that'll give us a nice bit of extra space. I am going to need more food for the ability to build other stuff. So as well as the fisherman's cottage, which obviously has to go around water, you also get hunter cottage, which can be stuck around trees. Well, in fact, I think you can stick it basically anywhere to get some food, but trees gives you way more. So where's good? 12, ooh, 15. That was pretty good. Is that because there's a bird on the spot? I somehow doubt that. So I got to admit, I'm having quite a lot of fun with this one, partly because it's quite relaxing, but then with these sudden bursts of, oh, and now it's not relaxing, not even in the slightest. Which, and it's nice and challenging, and you guys know that I am fond of a bit of a challenge when I can get one, even if I'm utterly rubbish at it. So, for now, things are quite quiet while we wait for our resources to come in. That's our Tesla towers done, so I should, as soon as we've got the workers for it, which we need the food for, let myself get a little bit out of, I don't know what you want to call that. Not quite organisation, but sensible ratios between the buildings. Now, where can I tuck this in that's going to be nice and safe? The housing, for some reason or another, in fact, it does make sense, doesn't it, really? That are the ones that are most susceptible to being infected. You get a little building like this infected, or one of these, only a couple of guys comes out. You get one of these infected, tons of people come out. Ooh. If you have it paused when you're placing structures, it allows you to undo it immediately for no cost. However, if you have placed it down and then it started building, you only get half the materials back. So I tend to do all of my building placement when paused, just in case you do something like that, where you spaz the mouse, forget how to play games again. Right, wood all over the place. Let's get a wall up down this side. Double walls do seem to be pretty beneficial as well. So let's do one in line there with no tower. And we'll do a tower on the back wall. I'm going to leave two space gap, and that's important because we're going to get ballistas soon. As soon as we've got the wood workshop up, we'll research cottages and ballistas. And ballistas are pretty damn awesome, as you kind of expect. And there's all of our wood and gold gone in one swift burst. Have expanded a bit down here. We're going to want more Teslas. Now, I might have gone a bit heavy with the land grab here. Unfortunately, each map is RNG. Every time you get onto a map, I should have mentioned this earlier. How do I get this far into the video and not point out, oh, by the way, everything's RNG. So everything's randomly generated, procedurally generated every time you start the game. And so some maps can completely ruin you, and some maps can be amazingly helpful. Like this one's quite defensible. We've got quite a nice position to defend it from, some nice sealed off areas. That is far from guaranteed. You can see our shotgun fella's starting to attract a bit of attention now. However, if I get her in there, she'll have a reasonably good view. Probably want to get him patrolling back and forth just in case, because I'm not feeling 100% comfortable with up there at the moment, I have to admit. It's the problem, too much land grab and you get yourself in trouble. Next has got to be the soldier centre, right? So we can build more troops. Oh no, I still haven't got my wood workshop up. Wood, 1 more. Gold, 3 more. Almost. Come on. Let's get the next tier unlocked. Next tier allows the ballistas. That's why it's almost more important than the soldier shop, because maintaining a standing army costs you money, costs you workers, costs all of the various above. It's like relaxing RTS. Right up until the point where the zombie waves come. I think the first wave comes at about day 9. So we might go to the first wave today and then see if that's a really nice way of splitting up sort of a mini series like this, is by waves. So I do still think this is going to be the best location, and that is because one of the things this is going to enable us to build are farms, and farms use fertile ground like this around here to convert into huge volumes of food. But of course, right, you're a bit vulnerable as well. It's for the humans. Sure. You're a strange fella. Okay, so we want to probably think about food's looking alright. I'm not going to bother expanding any more housing now, because actually I might put 1 or 2 more down, because it'll take a little while, but this will enable us to build bigger housing. So convert and upgrade all of these things into larger variants. The other thing I'm trying to avoid doing here is blocking any of our routes to move around, or anywhere I might want to place a building later down the line. So for example, around this here, and it's going to need a quarry eventually. You know what? I'm still not comfortable with this area. If we lose this expansion bit here, we're in trouble. So you guys want to do a patrol more like that? I'm pretty sure there's no zombies back there. We can go find out quickly. Just to be, because it all falls apart just like that. As soon as you mess up, it's all done. And I've got to admit as well, this game's only in, well, I think we're on version 0.4 now, so they added something into this, although I have to admit when I looked at the patch notes, they were all blank. So I'm not 100% sure what they did add in, but they've added some stuff in, but each time we're getting like more towers or more buildings, and I'm just excited to see what happens once this gets tons and tons of that stuff. You can imagine this sort of expanding further and further. And of course, as previously mentioned, I do like it when it's difficult, so you don't just wander in and go, oh, well, nowhere more to learn in this one. No, I got plenty left. So we probably want to extend our Tesla network. So they are trying to break through. Right, this is what you get. Once you've got walls up, it gives you this sort of intrinsic warning. Although you notice, look at them. They know when you've left an area unguarded. Don't know why it is that they all decide there, other than if they were somehow aware in advance that it was empty. They're not going to get through with that, though, and then once they have, we can repair the buildings that they've attacked. So, what are we still waiting on workers, really? Sorry, still waiting on energy and workers. So let's get this done. Let's research the cottages. That means that we can upgrade all of these things, and then once we're done with that, we've got ballistas. There's also, what else is good in here? Farms. Market and stone workshop are kind of your tiering up stuff. Market stops the excess, as you can see, automatically sells excess resources produced. So when I'm sitting here on plus 20 a go wood, and I'm not really using it, the market becomes super handy. But it's one of those things that takes up loads of room, and you end up with your base huge earlier than you can really manage having a base that big. This is the sort of, there's a transitional point in this about mid-game that I haven't got my head around yet, and that's normally the point where a decent try will fall apart. So right now I am doing a lot of sitting here, not doing very much. Can I buff up these defences at all? I could, but I would not be able to leave my preferred 2-space gap. That's probably going to be alright, isn't it? Yeah, sure. In fact, let's do a back-to-back wall. The game will only let you do 2 walls next to each other, by the way, so I can't keep adding layers to this, just in case anyone was wondering and saying, oh, well, why don't you just fortify like that? Well, I think you could do that originally, and then they went, no, that's not how we intended this to work. Okay, I'm going to have to put another one of these down, aren't I? we need more workers at the moment, and we're going to need more workers later down the line, so... Mostly this is just about keeping things as clean and contained as possible with the central area, because this sort of core bit, once we've got this defended, you're then sort of doing expansions outside of it, which is fine, but you've got to clear zombies out, which means you've got to leave this bit kind of unguarded, or potentially less guarded. Then you've got to worry about the waves that are coming in repeatedly. So let's get some more power up. I reckon if I put that one there... Oh, that doesn't quite give us the walls the whole way across, does it? There. About there. Anything else? And we're going to need to get over to build this bit as well. No saving or loading in this either. This is full Iron Man. You screw up, you start again. I'm down with that. Some people might get put off by it. But then there is always the argument that you could always just turn the difficulty down. But then you don't have the challenge side of things. So, I don't know. If you're the sort of person that would normally save and reload to get past sections and so on, then this is probably not a title you're going to enjoy very much. It's got that roguelike feel to it, even though I'm trying to avoid using those terms, because it's not really that sort of game. But... I guess only because it's a blooming RTS, and that's not normally considered to be quite right in that. I don't know. I can't think of very many roguelike RTSs. It doesn't. It's not a thing, is it? Or wasn't a thing. Now it is. Okay, so we've got cottages. Now we're going to go for farms for the food, and then ballistas afterwards. These can now all get upgraded. We're down on food, which is why I went straight for the farms. Okay, we're going to have to wait a sec for a bit of gold. We can now get fishermen's cottages around the sides here, so there is room to make this work. Come on, give me the golds. Be nice if there was a visual tick indicator, some way of understanding when this stuff was going to come in. Because it does seem to come in ticks. You just get a chunk. So, where can we fish on this edge around here that's going to be super lucrative? Don't want to block too much of this, because this is also farmland. So maybe intentionally put it on some of this stuff. That's stone, which we have a much nicer quarry of there. So maybe I try and put it on the sort of barren land here. Just a bit of a shame that in order to do so I will have to block some other stuff. Oh well. Could also try and get a hunter's cottage up somewhere. They tuck in really nicely in gaps where you couldn't fit anything else. Like along this edge here, I won't be able to put any buildings down there, unless it's one of these. So maybe another one of those. That does use up all of our workers, but as soon as we've got the food, we can start upgrading these things to cottages. We can also now start walling up here, just to make use of some of our wood. Obviously that also costs gold. Tab is not the right button. Speaking of which, I should really finish the wall down here as well, but I'm not going to be able to because there are enemies too close. She's going to have to do a bit of work first. Cool, that's the fisherman stuff done. Let's upgrade some of these, get ourselves some more workers. Next thing to run out is going to be food again, which means we're going to want to farm. You are also going to want to, once you've killed that one, come over here. Clear that corner for me, please. It might take you a little while to get that done, actually. So you see these sort of tier up. There aren't that many buildings that do tier up at the moment, but one can only imagine that's something that can be used to expand the game later, like more upgrades on stuff, more choices. I can't help but feel like that's going to sort of almost be the bread and butter of this to keep it going. It's just giving people loads of different ways of playing it, if you know what I mean. Go completely turtle style, or maybe you build yourself something more designed to go out and clear the map, something more mobile. Don't really know. I just like the idea of having lots of different things I could build, if I'm honest. Quite simplistic, really. Okay, you just battering away on that. I'm not entirely happy with that, but okay, whatever. That's a good spot for that one. And what am I missing to get another one down? Gold, I imagine. Yep. More of these that we upgrade to cottages, the more our gold income improves, however, so should be able to finish off this bit down here. No. Still not. Walls are under attack. Oh, that's that bit, isn't it? Yep. You don't even have one in this side. Oh no, and speaking of which... Oh no, can you not... Oh, that's annoying.
Building completed.
They can get to the bit of wall that we can't hit them at.
Our forces
Fine.
are in danger.
Go outside, and you're...
They are attacking
Oh, there.
enemy defenses.
Enemy's too close to there still. It's going to be that guy, isn't it?
Attention. Building
It's worth noting the AI pathfinding in this can be a little bit derpy at times. They do like to run outside, round the outside of the base and past all of the zombies. Okay, we're going to want more gold ASAP, so... Food or workers? Actually, food is looking okay. More workers.
They are trying to break through.
You want to get inside? Let's get that last... Still? I mean, hell. No, okay, you can't actually get through that corner, so it would be purely aesthetic. You done with him? Yep.
Attention.
That's looking alright. Okay, more walls. Oh, God. Learn how to drag the mouse around with it. You have been using a PC for a little while now. And I guess I might put a tower in the centre of this. This is quite a long bit to cover. Otherwise, right, you're done down there. Can you finish that off for aesthetic reasons and get back in your tower, please? This side needs another Tesla to allow me to block that off, and I think I'll do it for neatness sake from the side over. I should have looked at that a bit closer. I think it's okay, but you can't even while it's building, you can't even do the usual, like you can hold E to show power, for example. But once it's building, it's too late. It won't even show you where it's going to be. Looking alright, maybe soldier center? No, I need to defend and I need to research ballistas. Which means...
Being attacked.
Waiting on orders.
Did he get him?
Attention.
Come on.
Building completed.
He must have done. It's flashing on the map still, but... Okay. Okay. Right, so we got access up there. Actual numbers of workers and so on is fine. The problem is gold. So, I guess, first things first, actually block off these areas. Get each side blocked, then immediately start saving up for the first wave, which is coming super soon. Ooh. Ooh. And I don't even have ballistas yet. This is what I mean about the overexpansion side of it. I might have gone too far here. You're going to want to get down there and clear the last few of those out. I've actually managed to get to the point where we've used all of our wood. Wow, that's a lot of Z's. Back up. One benefit of actually taking these guys out and using them is that they can level up, so they do gain sort of experience and they'll become elite rangers, and I believe once they become elite they basically shoot twice as fast. Which makes a pretty sizable difference. Should be alright here, the last one might just get a hit off, but it's not an insta-kill thing with your actual troops. And even buildings take a few hits to go down. One of you guys, please go back over there for now. Can we... There are enemies too close to just there. Damn it. Okay, that will be all of our sides blocked off, so the next step is... Oh, I can almost afford to research the ballistas as well. That's not too bad. Okay, can we... Yay, there we go. Okay. Sides are blocked. I'm actually going to save a little bit. Let's get the ballista research going ASAP, because the ballistas are what really saves us from the first big attack. I should really have put a tower up for this as well. It's a bit silly of me. Oh, one tower's not even going to be enough, so I'll worry about that. I'll worry about that when we sort out, because that line will probably get rebuilt, in all honesty. I assume you killed it? By the time you get down there, they've already finished off whatever it was that was attacking your defenses. Cool, that's researching. So we've got a bit of spare resources building up, but again, I don't know, can't remember how much the ballistas actually cost to build. Gonna need to save enough, so yeah, there's no information about when that first horde comes. I don't even know if that in itself is random. It could be. It's exactly the sort of thing they might do. You know, I don't even think that one's needed. Part of me wants to just leave it and let him kill it, or just demolish it when I get the chance. But at the same time, if it distracts some zombies, it distracts some zombies.
What?
Yeah, that's right. You get out of it. And one thing I'm not sure, I may have... Do we have... I've probably turned it off, haven't I? What's the music like in this? Oh. Well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. You got the music and the ambient turned completely off. And apparently doing that makes the game go kind of weird. Okay, so there isn't any music. At least not when you're in-game. Maybe they come when the attack begins, who knows. Guess I must have turned that off while I was streaming it. I wouldn't normally have the music turned off if I'm just playing around. Oh look, it's that recording issue that was happening with Stalker, and it feels like it's now here with this game. That'd be wonderful. Right, I am basically... We could do with spending a bit more wood. I'm basically trying to sit on enough resources to build one of these Great Ballistas. Because the Great Ballista, as it says, is going to attack nearby enemies by shooting large arrows. And that's pretty damn cool. But we need to keep enough money for that. So what do we need? 20 wood. So I can actually afford to go through and build a few more walls if I wanted to. I mean, I do like having double-walled setups. We've got plenty of spare workers, so there is an argument for doing that as well. This bit here is probably, that wall there is probably going to stay. It's in a pretty good location. So I can't help but feel like maybe we start using this as an opportunity to get some towers up. So maybe one there, one up that end. We're going to have the gates slightly offset. Create a muddle, a mess of them as they try and push through, and then I spend all of our wood, but we get 20 per tick, so that should be fine. Still got enough gold, that's the slow one. And then at some point soon, it all goes horribly wrong. Alright. Come on now. Get these bits done, and... hanging on to the resources for a ballista is kind of frustrating, but we don't have the resources to build them on all the entrances at the moment. Not at 500 apiece. And you can see here, this is why I was leaving the 2 gap space, so we can just whack them down in between the layers of walls as like an extra defensive measure, because they'll attack the ballista before trying to go through the next set of walls. You can even go in here, research some stake traps, and use those to really mess with them. Kind of fun. You're up. I'm going to save for the time being because of the wood. Get one more take of wood and then I'll finish this wall off, and then I guess that wall's probably the next one, or this one. I'm going to want to expand out with another layer of this. Obviously I'm not doing much colony expansion at the moment. That might be a bit of a mistake. Yes, let's actually get some colony expansion going, shall we? It's sort of a constant one where at any point you can screw yourself over for future by not keeping on top of things. Or do we go food and then other stuff? So as you can see, these things, as long as you give them the right spot, can generate huge volumes of food for you. Unfortunately, these spots aren't great. I've seen everything up to like 60s. So 46 is not as good as it could be, but over here it's going to be like, I can't even place them. Well, I can place them, they won't generate anything, so... 46 will do. 46 will do. Okay. Still need one more tick of wood for covering that side of things. You're almost a bit useless where you are, aren't you? Got no one at all watching this side. Bet you that's where they go. Attack from the west, I think, is the likely. Cool, bit of more spare wood, so... do we upgrade a few of these? It's more expensive to upgrade the housing than it is to place them down per person, I think. Let's have a look. How much is it? You get Per one of these, you get 4 colonists and 2 workers. Per one of these, you get 8 colonists and 4 workers. Weird that you get... How's the colonists? What are they... What's the difference between a colonist and... I mean, I guess, are they... Do they produce more gold colonist-based, or is that worker-based? I don't really know. I hadn't even noticed that they were in different numbers. I always assumed that they matched, but clearly not. So we've got this forward 1 energy versus... You can actually build them straight off the bat. Wow. This cottages use food, and those don't? Oh, no, they do. They do. Okay, yeah, they're way more expensive. Yeah, colonists provide golden workers for the colony. Alright, that's confirmed then. So colonist numbers are what matters on that side of things. They are not trying to break through. They're trying to get shot. And I'm still regretting having put this tower in slightly the wrong place.
Attention. Building completed.
Farms done, so that's tons of food.
Building
Why on earth would you be shooting that one? One of them's actually heading towards you, and towards our walls.
completed are being attacked.
Alright, soldier centre next, I guess. 450, 2020. Right, I need to wait until we got a tiny... one more tick of wood, and then I can put that down and still have enough for a ballista.
You are gonna pay me for this, right?
Should really be spending more of this time
Under attack.
aggressively pushing as well. Like getting these guys trained up, basically. You can get up there, repair. You guys are fine. Let's get you out, same deal. Probably a good idea if we let people push and actually level up a bit. Although it would have been a better... There you go, see? Red Union's now a veteran. I don't know if it's going to be the one up here, I imagine. Yeah, she's nice yellow hair, and look how fast they fire when you've got veterans. So it really does make a big difference if you can get them to level up like that. Yee.
Are there other units to bother?
To be honest, that's probably enough for those, because I don't think there's a level above veteran. Not that I've seen, at least, so...
What's up?
Those two are probably alright. Let's send her out to do a bit more looking, because there's nothing down here, if I remember correctly. In fact, this is quite a quiet area, this side as a whole.
Gotcha. Is that all? So boring.
Maybe expand a little bit this way. Hello.
Straight to the heart.
There's a friend. Quick soldier centre before I max on resources any harder. I might tuck this like... no, if I tuck it there, it will be leaving our layer of walls weak. So if I put it... Oh, and that's a gate. So I'm going to put it there. Allow me to finish off that wall into the corner.
What's up?
You doing alright? Yep.
Did around? My bow is
Feel free to go and level up. Surprised it's this quiet. I could have sworn the first wave should already have come by this point, but I don't. Again, maybe that's RNG. Maybe there is no sort of set time when that wave comes for you. It just comes when the game decides you're ready or not ready, or I don't know. Which one do you think it's going to be? Probably not ready. As I said, the Z's are pretty sneaky. Going on. Okay, now again we've got enough to probably do another couple of huts. We're going to need to do energy after that.
this better be good. Yeah. Take my arrows.
Get a few of these guys taken out. Die to the face.
Yes.
Nice.
Let me put an arrow in his head.
Attention. Building completed.
Oop, that's your watch, love.
Great.
Get up here. That'd be a great spot for a farm there.
Attention. Building completed.
So another soldier centre. I don't think we'll use it quite yet. I think she'll manage. Oh, there are quite a few more of them coming. Look now. Right, energy.
Dozens of infected are near the colony.
Aha, from the south.
From the south.
So probably this one. But I may have to wait and see. They'll appear on the map, basically, when that happens. Ugh, I can afford to put this down, yeah? Yes, I can. just about. For some reason it won't let you put these structures too close to each other. I'm not sure that makes any sense, but then it also lets you put a windmill behind a massive building, so maybe sense isn't exactly what they were going for.
They are trying to break through.
Okay, so look, can you continue to do that job for me? Oh god, out of energy. So what you can do in these circumstances, if you're really stuffed for something, is you can actually pause buildings and it will refund all of the costs or all of the stuff that that building is using. So we can temporarily pause our wood production because we're making more wood than I need anyway. Okay, so we can see where our potential death is coming from. It is almost certainly going to assault this wall here. Where is a good spot to put this? Now, I don't like blocking off the back of this, but anywhere else down here will stop the farm from being able to produce so much. So I'm tempted to pop you there, and I believe she can still go in and out. Yes, she can. I like the fact that while paused, you can actually get them out. It means I could have got rid of that if I needed to, but there you go. And I might even be able to get a second one up for this location. Aha! She's veteran as well. Now I'm going to save just on the basis that I might end up wanting another one for this side. Oh, I really thought I could get one there, but it's going to block the entrance to that. 4 workers. How many do these need? 2. Dope. Go! I guess I could just step it back one. It's not as effective like that, but so be it. Ew. That's a bit ugly. This is going to have to get redone. That'll be one of the bits that we don't keep in between phases. So one of the things I've been experimenting with recently is in between sort of waves of zombies, I'll reconfigure some of the stuff I've already done. So it does look like that's actually the doorway that it was going for. Thankfully, I think this will be finished in time. We probably want to think about maybe moving Mr. Shotgun Friend once he's... No, he's busy. This is a very weak entrance that I'd forgotten about. I hope they don't go for that one.
Building completed.
I can just about get a ballista up there, but it won't be up in time. No, I think they're going to go here. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're going this way and not up to that doorway here. I'd forgotten about it. We're only getting plus 11 wood as well, so we're not even like I can rebuild it yet. There you go. If need be. Here he comes, our first zombie wave. The first wave has not got that many specials in it. So this should be okay with the blister up. Yeah, we should be good. They've attacked the right one. You can come up and join these guys. It's funny pathfinding at times.
The walls are under attack.
That's a pretty pathetic wave. Is that it? Is that it? Well, maybe the contents of the waves are a bit randomized too, because normally there's a bit more coming at me than that. Okay, so we're going to want more workers. Let's do a quick upgrade on all of these that I can. Make sure that this is all finished. Oh, well, how very, very dull. I'm pretty sure
Attention.
that that was it. Maybe I am getting better. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe I am improving. There's something about that means that they just... I'm going to have to let them kill it, because it's round this corner. I don't think they can hit it. I'm just going to have to let them finish it.
Colony defenses.
Where are they attacking the colony defences? Yes, I know about that one.
They are trying
Well,
to break
then.
through.
What I'm going to do, I think, is leave this right here, our first little starting colony. We have got tons of room to expand, which is exactly what you want in here. It means we can get in and put down our quarries. Look, we've got multiple quarrying locations. We've got a good place that we could then move out into. I think here is our second expansion because of this. And maybe even down a bit further this direction. But the inner ring is sort of looking alright. I'm a bit sad that I never finished off these walls here. Suppose I could... Not quite. Oh well. We'll have to leave it like that, because I'm going to come back to this one. But what I will leave you on is, I'm pretty sure I've got recorded somewhere around the death of one of my other colonies. Just so you can get an idea of when they say they are billions. And they are billions. Really, really, really are billions. And it can get quite impressive as cool. And cool. I hope you guys have enjoyed this sort of vague little intro. It didn't really show you a huge amount yet. I think episode 2 might end up being the slightly more exciting one, but we shall see. If you did, please hit that like button. Really helps me and the channel out. If you didn't, then obviously dislike button is right next door. Otherwise, thanks a lot for watching, folks. I'll catch you for the next one.
I have no internal defenses that can hold us beyond this point as well. While they are split off, like we could potentially survive, there is no internal defenses to stop them from just continuing plowing through. Or at least not enough. No! It's my best so far.